This is Bhutan This Week with Mitan and Finso. Our top stories. Bhutan celebrates the first ever International Day of Happiness on 28 March. The National Assembly Speaker Jimmy Siltim appeals to the High Court against the verdict on the Gyalpushing land allotment case. Bhutan's plea to the world to adopt gross national happiness as an alternative development paradigm gathered huge momentum last year when the United Nations General Assembly passed a resolution to celebrate 28th March as the International Day of Happiness.
Inspired by Bhutan's call for action, 193 UN member countries unanimously sanctioned March 20 as the first International Day of Happiness. United Nations, the world's largest, foremost and most prominent international organization, decided to dedicate a day to celebrating happiness. It gave fresh impetus to Bhutan's development philosophy of gross national happiness on the world stage. It brought the world on board with Bhutan in its quest to pursue happiness of citizens as government's ultimate goal.
It is a day on which the world will come together and contemplate the importance of life and the fact that we will be bound together across all continents, religions, race, creed, and contemplate what is most important to the human individual, to every human being. It is what will bind the world together.
The UN office in Bhutan says it means a lot for Bhutan.
It means a lot, actually, and if you were aware of the fact that Bhutan country has actually contributed a lot to shape the global debate on measuring development and progress and prosperity and well-being, something that we are proud of about it. And it has almost become like an identity. We are better known as the GNH country for that matter. And today, the worldwide, there is a lot of deliberation on defining the development paradigm, the new development paradigm, premised on how they're looking at, growth, prosperity, together with the happiness, quotient of the people, of its citizen.
The UN Bhutan's acting resident coordinator said, world is becoming increasingly troubled where everyone is under pressure to be successful, and that the values people treasured for generations got lost along the way. Thus, she said, having a day specifically chalked out to celebrate happiness will bring people together. This sense of coming together, she said, will help to revive the values of sharing, giving and compassion among others.
We're looking forward to new challenges, we're looking forward to new experiences, we're looking forward to new struggles. So it essentially means that you're inculcating a notion of happiness for people in Bhutan that goes beyond a day, celebrating just about the 20th of March. It transcends beyond a day to weeks and months and years and beyond. I think it's important that this philosophy expands and is well demonstrated by the Royal Government of Bhutan, that the duty bearers, the government, the families, the custodians, the communities, all have a very important role to play.
The Gross National Happiness Commission says the UN resolution clearly is a reflection of international community recognizing Bhutan's development philosophy. A small country like Bhutan being able to project and get overwhelming endorsement in form of UN resolution is noteworthy, said the GNH Commission. And the day being declared as a national holiday indicates Bhutan's commitment to put happiness at the core of all its development plans, added the GNH Commission. The GNH Commission, however, added Bhutan has a long way to go. It said the concept of GNH is being interpreted differently by different quarters. Thus, efforts need to be made to create a common understanding. The Commission added that the existing domains and indicators of GNH could be reviewed and subjected to further consultation to improve it. Sonam Lhamo for BBS News.
As Bhutan marked the first International Day of Happiness on Wednesday, BBS took a look at the significance of the UN resolution.
In a country from where the concept of gross national happiness originated, Bhutanese young and old started off typically with blessings from this giant thongdrel or tapestry of Guru at the courtyard of Tashi Chezong this morning. Traditionally, this is how every day, every Bhutanese begins the new day. Proud to be a Bhutanese whose philosophy is now getting bigger. This is the beginning of the happiness day. Quintessentially a Buddhist way, a queue of families and friends in masses gathered, joining the global community in celebrating the first ever International Day of Happiness. Away from the fortress and blessings, down the otherwise busy main street of Thimphu, Northern awaited a bigger celebration, love of every Bhutanese, the music. The clock tower square was blaring music, and dancing was an ongoing process, very much a part of Bhutanese definition of what happiness is all about. And food, which is an indispensable part of every Bhutanese celebration, was all over the place. Where there are Bhutanese, there is food. Sonam Phunso for PBS News.
The celebration of the Happiness Day began with prayer, blessing, music, food and games. Celebrations were held nationwide, including the capital. We take you through the many activities held in Thimphu to celebrate the International Day of Happiness.
Now I'm here at the Dishinchuling ground, and as I'm sure you've noticed, there's a lot of things going on out here. Kids are having a penalty shootout. They are playing football on Happiness Day, and let's see what else people are doing in Dishinchuling on Happiness Day.
Football seems to be the source of happiness for everyone here.
When I win this football, because football is my favorite game, that's why.
We like to play football.
These are the children in Dishinchuling having a football tournament. It is a serious game, but most of them are all smiles. A little further down the road are a couple of people playing khuru. This is a game that many people play during holidays. People also enjoy playing archery. This is one of the most popular sports in Bhutan. At the Centenary Park in Thimphu, a crowd has gathered. Many of them are watching a cultural show by artists from the Third King's time. There were also medical checkup centers scattered all over the park. People could get themselves checked up for free. A lot of them took advantage of it. People in one corner of the park are playing Ta Da No, or tigers and cows. This is a traditional Bhutanese game played by two players. The person who chooses to be the tiger gets two tigers. The aim is to eat all the cows before the cows trap you. There are 24 cows clustered together in herds of 6. The cow herd has to move his cows so that they eventually trap the tigers. A tiger eats a cow when he jumps over the cow to an empty space. The tiger gets trapped if there are no empty spaces to move to. This game goes on until the cows are all eaten up or the tigers get trapped. The entertainment went on for the whole day. Families gathered to celebrate happiness together. Today is, after all, the first ever International Day of Happiness. Tenzin Rabke, PBS News.
The National Assembly Speaker, Jimmy Siltim, has appealed to the High Court against the verdict on Gilpushing land allotment case. The Monga District Court had passed the verdict on 8 March, pronouncing the Speaker guilty of official misconduct, fraud, forgery and deceptive practices during the land allotment for Gilpushing town. The Speaker said the verdict was a total miscarriage of justice.
Sokpin Jigme said he will appeal against the verdict to the High Court on 3 grounds.
The verdict is a total miscarriage of justice. The reason is there's a breach of constitution, there's a breach of law, both by the court and ACC. No one can breach the constitution. And when you see the verdict and whatever ACC has mentioned, they have just gave a general verdict that is guilty of not following 1987 Kashu, which is not true. And then also they are saying on a forgery. I have amply proved there's no forgery. And if that is the forgery, there are other 9 cases which are of similar nature. And why they didn't take that also. Anyway, that the whole verdict, I feel, is very sad.
Sokpin also added that some points in the verdict, such as having no power to the Zongda and the committee members for allotting plot, is baseless and can demoralize civil servants from forming committee in the future.
Urban lands in 20 districts have been given by the Zongda and the committee. The case in Monga is illegal. Then all the land given in Bhutan, in the urban centers, become illegal. Therefore, the verdict by Monga Timkang is baseless, and if the court still takes it as a right decision, there is a possibility that all the land issued or allotted in the urban area in 20 zongas need to be reviewed by the court.
Meanwhile, the Home Minister Minjidoji's legal counsel, Jamyang Sherapwongdi, said they are still discussing whether to appeal or not. The Home and Culture Affairs Minister was sentenced to a year imprisonment for official misconduct. This is King Omo reporting for BBS News.
The newly elected president of the Bhutan Chamber of Commerce and Industry has encouraged the people of Samtsi to get into the mining business. The president met with the business community of Samtsi recently.
Close to 400 businessmen and women from various parts of Samtsi met with the president of BCCI, Ugyen Sechaptoji. He urged the gathering to appeal to the concerned authorities to start the mining activities in Samtsi.
The people of Samtsi Tongkak to do mining is because that is one of the main resources that Samtsi Tongkak has. Now the reason they've given for stopping the mines in Samtsi Tongkak is because they felt that there was a lot of corruption involved and that there was a tendency to just get the license and allow the other people to operate it, basically fronting.
In response, some of the businessmen said it was not much of a benefit to the locals in Samtsi.
We are ready to support and work as per the rules and regulations. But now the areas near the mining sites are converted to community forests. And as per the Ministry of Agriculture and Forest rules, we cannot touch those areas for the other purpose. And BCCI encouraging us to revive the business just to contravene the rule. So it is a problem.
The license for mining business is in the name of Bhutanese, but while the works start, there are a lot of foreigners working at the sites, and the work is not done as per the rules, affecting the locals suffering losses. That is why it was decided to do away with the business.
Some of the places in Samtsi were declared as no mining zone during the 109th Dzongkhag Tsokdu in 2011. The president said BCCI will ensure that business person who is carrying out illegal business and fronting business is dealt severely.
What we're trying to encourage is that there should be a system, a mechanism of declaring the source of fund. So you should have paid your taxes, you should have sold something to get that money, because money just doesn't fall from the sky, Mena. So that means that if we can declare a source of fund, it will discourage people to start fronting.
He said BCCI will support people doing genuine business. Compiled for Karmawangdi, this is Kingo Wangmo for BBS News.
The Economic Affairs Minister Khandu Wangchuk reacts to whether the mining business should start all over again in Samtsi.
We cannot revoke the decision of the Dzongkha Tsogdu meeting. This is because it is stated in the Local Government Act that if one wishes to start mining business, one should get the approval from the local government. Therefore, if the approval is not given by the local government, the central government also cannot give approval. So what we have to do henceforth is that the central government, the local government and the business people should collectively discuss and sort out the problems. This will benefit everyone.
Shopkeepers in Dagana are likely to miss yet another deadline as the Dzongkha gives them a little over a month to move to the new town. The reason this time is the unavailability of housing loans. They have been asked to move by the end of next month.
The construction of houses in the new town has completely stopped. Only a few laborers are seen working at some of the construction sites. In 2002, the government had allotted plots to some 30 shopkeepers in the new town. 11 years and after missing 2 deadlines, people are still not sure if they could move to the new town.
When it comes to timing, we were shocked. The Dzongkha gave us order to shift to the new town for the 3rd time now. Since we couldn't get loans from the banks, we were not able to start with construction and some were incomplete. If we get loans, there won't be any problem. But since construction is incomplete and some are yet to begin, it would be difficult to shift on time.
If we are able to shift to new town, it's much better. The only problem is we are not getting loans to construct houses.
Also, a few shopkeepers who moved to the new town said the business is not good.
Nobody comes here since all the offices and institutions are located in the old town and all the people are living in the old town.
25%
Dzongkha administration and other offices are in the old town. Only about 25% of the people live in the new town. Rest are all in the old town. There are not many customers here.
But the Dzongkha municipal officer said those who have completed the constructions should move in by the end of next month.
The road network and electricity will be there once the constructions are complete to avoid damages during the construction of houses. Once the construction is complete, blacktopping of roads, street lights and other basic facilities will be provided gradually.
The old town, established 30 years ago, is clustered with temporary huts dotting along the highway. But this is likely to change once the people start moving to the new town. Compiled for Purba, Taralimbu for BBS News.
In an update to houses damaged by falling boulders from a construction site in Yalang in Tashiangsi, the Dzongkha's tender committee has decided that the contractor should take on the responsibility of repairing the houses. The boulders had rolled down from the farm road construction site on 14th March. The committee decided that the cost of replacing roofs, repairing walls, replacing taps and the walls of toilets will be borne by the contractor. The committee also decided that to ensure safety of the people, the site engineer should be present in the field until the road is cleared. The contractor said he will abide by the terms mentioned in the tender document. The construction of an academic block at the Lapsakha Primary School in Talo, which was supposed to have been completed last month, is still unfinished. Only about 60% of the work has been completed so far.
The Dzongkhag Tender Committee had made a full advance payment of 3.1 million Yultram to Lham construction site supervisor, but the committee had to file a case against the company after it failed to make good its promise of completing the block's construction by the end of February. The case has been at the court for more than 2 months now. The school principal Tashidoji said in the absence of an academic block, the school had to merge its library and science lab, and a small classroom has been converted into a staff room.
With the increasing of staff, with the increasing of supplies, now we started facing problem because now this year we have started our increase our staff, and our staff room we are using one of the classroom as a staff room, and in that we have to adjust 10 of us at the same time on. We have shelves, we have computers, and everything has to be in that room, and so our staff room get congested now.
The site engineer Tashinorbo lays the entire blame on the contractor.
And then the reason being delayed in completion of this 18 block has been stated by the contractor. Firstly, he could not get the white stone from the quarry for the CRM wall, and then the timber for all components and for all the windows and the doors and the roof components. At last, the financial year of 2011 and 12 has been approached by June, and then to prevent from being left of the budget, our Dzongkhag Tender Committee has decided to pay the final payment and make the contractor to complete the work.
BBS spoke to the proprietor of Lham Construction by phone, but she refused any explanation. The new academic block is supposed to house the principal's office, the staff room, a library, a storeroom, a science lab and staff toilets. The junior engineer Tashinorbu said work cannot resume until directives are issued by the court. Established in 1991, the Lapsakha Primary School is located en route to Talugempa, about 10 km from Khurudang town. There are 131 students and 10 teachers at the school. Compiled for Chonidama, Sharab Sangmo for BBS News.
The construction of the Hindu temple in Dungte Gyeok under Samsi Dzongkhag is in full swing. The villagers in the Gyeok are already excited about the temple.
Located about 85 kilometers away from Samsi Dzongkhag, the Hindu temple in Dungte Gyeok is being constructed with modern architectural design of a Hindu temple. The construction began last year. It is scheduled to complete by the end of June this year. According to the villagers, the temple came as a blessing for them.
As of now, in absence of Hindu temple, we perform all kinds of religious celebrations at our own houses. Once we get the temple, it will be convenient.
Our government has financed for the temple construction, which is underway. Dungte Gyeok otherwise had no temple at all. All religious events are being held at their homes.
It is very difficult in absence of community temple. Temple is a place where we conduct various kind of ritual offerings for the betterment of all sentient beings, including dead rituals. So the construction of temple will immensely benefit us.
The temple is being constructed at the cost of 1.2 million Yultram. It is being funded by the government. The Gyeok has a total of 450 households with over 3,700 people. The Gyeok has 12 villages. Compiled for Karmongli, Sonomfanso for BBS News.
That's all we have for you this week. Thank you for joining us. I'm Bhutan This saying goodbye.